My sister's kids showed up at my house at 3:30 a.m. crying and barefoot. She left them on the street to go party. So I gave them food and blankets, documented everything with photos, and had her arrested. Hi friends. Your love keeps us going. Subscribe, drop a hi, and share your location in the comments. We're so glad you're here. Let's continue the story. The pounding on my door cut through my sleep like a knife. 3:30 a.m. My heart hammered as I grabbed my phone, finger hovering over 911. Nobody comes calling at this hour with good news. Auntie Kathleen. Please. It's us. I froze. That voice. 7-year-old Zion. My sister Rochelle's son. I threw open the door and my stomach dropped. There stood Zion and his sister Amara, 5 years old, both barefoot on my concrete porch. Their faces were streaked with tears, little pajamas torn at the edges. Amara was shaking so hard her teeth chattered, and it wasn't even that cold. Baby, where's your mama? My hands were already pulling them inside, my mind racing through horrible possibilities. Car accident? House fire? Medical emergency? She left us, Zion choked out, his little arms wrapped around his sister. On Lincoln Street. By the old church. She said to walk to your house and she'd come back, but she didn't, and we waited and waited. She went to Club Euphoria, Amara whispered, her voice so small I almost missed it. With Uncle Derek. She said we were being brats and she needed a break. The words hit me like a physical blow. Lincoln Street was 4 miles from my house. 4 miles. These babies had walked 4 miles in the dark in their bare feet, through neighborhoods I wouldn't walk through at noon. My phone was in my hand before I realized I'd picked it up. But first I needed to take care of these children. The rage could wait. Would have to. I wrapped both kids in my warmest blankets, my hands trembling with an emotion I couldn't quite name yet. Not just anger. Something deeper, more primal. These were my blood, my sister's children, and she'd thrown them away like garbage. Amara, honey, let me see your feet. The moment she lifted them, my vision blurred with tears. Blisters. Cuts. A piece of glass embedded in her left heel. Zion's weren't much better. Raw and bleeding, tiny footprints of blood on my hardwood floor that I hadn't even noticed in the chaos. I'm going to take some pictures, okay? Just of your feet. Nothing else. I need to show people what happened. My phone clicked steadily. Each photo made me angrier. I documented everything. Their torn clothes, their dirty faces, Amara's scraped knees. Then I started recording video. Zion, can you tell me what happened tonight? Just what you remember. His voice was so matter-of-fact it broke me. Mama got a text from Uncle Derek around 9. She got real happy and started getting dressed up. We asked if we could watch a movie and she said we were getting on her nerves. She locked us in our room, Amara added quietly. But Zion knows how to unlock it from the inside. Daddy showed him before he left. Before he left. Rochelle's husband Fabian had walked out 6 months ago. I'd thought my sister was handling it, thought she was being strong for her kids. How wrong I'd been. Keep going, baby. She took us in the car around midnight. Said she was tired of us ruining her life. I made them hot chocolate with extra marshmallows. My autopilot kicked in while my brain struggled to process. The kitchen light felt too bright, too normal for what was happening. This couldn't be real. My sister, the girl who used to braid my hair and help me with homework, couldn't have done this. But she had. Auntie Kathleen? Zion's voice was small. Are you gonna call Mama? The question made me pause, my hand frozen over the first aid kit. Was I? Every instinct screamed to call Rochelle first, to hear her explanation, to give her a chance to make this make sense. We were sisters. We'd survived foster care together, bounced between 3 homes before our grandmother took us in. We'd promised to always have each other's backs. But then I looked at Amara's feet again. No, baby. I'm not calling your mama. My voice came out harder than I intended. I'm calling the police. No. Please. Zion grabbed my arm, panic flooding his face. She'll get mad. She said if we told anyone she'd send us away. She said nobody would believe us anyway because she's our mama and we're just kids who lie. The manipulation. The control. The fear she'd instilled in her own children. Something crystallized in my chest, cold and sharp and absolutely certain. Zion, look at me. I knelt down to his level. Your mama was wrong. People will believe you. I believe you. And you are not going back to her. Not tonight. Not ever if I have anything to say about it. The words felt like crossing a bridge I could never uncross. My hands shook as I dialed 911. The operator answered on the second ring, her voice calm and professional, a stark contrast to the chaos in my chest. 911, what's your emergency? My niece and nephew just showed up at my house. They're 5 and 7. Their mother abandoned them on Lincoln Street at midnight and they walked 4 miles here barefoot. They have injuries. I need police and possibly an ambulance. Even saying it out loud felt surreal. The operator's voice sharpened. Are the children in immediate danger now? No, they're with me. They're safe. But their feet are badly cut and, my voice cracked. Ma'am, they're babies. They walked through the dark alone for hours. I'm dispatching units now. Stay on the line. What's your address? As I rattled off my information, Zion tugged my sleeve. Is Mama gonna go to jail? How do you explain to a 7-year-old that yes, his mother should go to jail? That the person who's supposed to protect him had committed a crime against him? The police need to make sure you're safe, baby. That's all. The operator was asking more questions. How long ago did this happen? Was I certain about the timeline? Where was the mother now? Each answer felt like another nail in Rochelle's coffin, but I couldn't stop. Wouldn't stop. The club, I said firmly. Club Euphoria downtown. She's there with a man named Derek. Officers will be there shortly. Can you stay with the children? I'm not going anywhere. I looked at Zion and Amara wrapped in blankets on my couch and felt something fierce settle in my bones. These kids are staying with me. The 20 minutes before the police arrived felt like hours. I cleaned and bandaged the children's feet as gently as I could, each wince making me want to scream. Amara had gone quiet, too quiet, staring at the TV I'd turned on without really seeing it. You ever watch SpongeBob? I asked, desperate to fill the silence with something normal. She nodded but didn't smile. Zion answered for her. Mama said it was a stupid show. She said only babies watch cartoons. Another cut. Another wound that wouldn't show up in photographs. I'd grown up with Rochelle. I'd seen her cradle her babies when they were born, seen her cry with joy. When had that woman disappeared? Or had she ever really existed? The knock came at 4:47 a.m. 2 officers. 1 woman, 1 man, both with kind eyes that had seen too much. I'm Officer Martinez, the woman said. This is Officer Thompson. We got a call about 2 abandoned children. Come in. I stepped aside, watching as their expressions changed when they saw Zion and Amara. Thompson's jaw tightened. Martinez knelt down immediately. Hi there, sweethearts. I'm Officer Martinez. Can you tell me your names? Zion. His voice was barely a whisper. And this is my sister Amara. We're not in trouble, are we? No, baby, Martinez said softly. You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing at all. Thompson was already on his radio. We need CPS notification and backup at Club Euphoria. Suspect is female, 32 years old, possibly intoxicated, needs to be brought in for child endangerment. This was really happening. My sister was about to be arrested. Officer Martinez sat with the kids while Thompson took my statement. I showed him everything, the photos, the videos, the timestamps. His face grew darker with each piece of evidence. Ma'am, I need you to understand something, he said quietly. What you're describing is a felony. Multiple felonies, actually. Child abandonment, child endangerment, possibly neglect depending on what else we find. Your sister is looking at serious charges. Good. The word came out harsh. She deserves it. There's no going back from this once we arrest her. Family cases can get complicated. People change their minds, try to recant statements. I need to know you're sure. Was I sure? I looked at Amara, who had finally fallen asleep against the couch arm, her small face peaceful for the first time. I looked at Zion, who was showing Martinez his favorite toy car with the kind of desperate normalcy kids use to cope. I'm sure. Those children walked 4 miles in the dark. 4 miles. She didn't even call to check if they made it. She just went partying. Thompson nodded. The responding officers at the club just confirmed. They found her. She's heavily intoxicated and became combative when they asked about her children. She told them, and I quote, "They're fine, they can take care of themselves for one night." My blood ran cold. One night. Like this was a normal thing. Like maybe she'd done this before. "Officer, I need to ask, can they check the kids? Medically? Make sure there's nothing else." Martinez looked up sharply. "You think there might be other abuse?" "I think I don't know my sister anymore. And that terrifies me." By 6 a.m. we were at the emergency room. The kids had been surprisingly compliant, probably too exhausted to protest. A nurse named Janet took one look at their feet and her expression went from professional to barely contained fury. "Who did this?" she asked me directly. "Their mother. She abandoned them miles from safety in the middle of the night." Janet's lips pressed into a thin line. "Dr. Williams needs to see this. And we're calling our social worker." The social worker arrived within 30 minutes. A tired-looking woman named Patricia with graying locks and eyes that had seen everything. She sat down with Zion first, asking gentle questions while I waited outside with Amara. "Auntie Kathleen?" Amara's voice was so quiet I almost missed it. "If Mama goes away, where do we go?" The question I'd been avoiding. Where did they go? Foster care? The system that had chewed me and Rochelle up and spit us out scarred? The system that had taught us that family was everything because no one else would ever choose us? "You go with someone who loves you and will keep you safe," I said carefully. "Like you." My heart stopped. I was 30 years old, single, living in a 2-bedroom apartment, working 60 hours a week as a nursing assistant. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't have a nursery or extra beds or any idea how to raise traumatized children. But looking at her hopeful face, I heard myself say, "Yeah, baby. Like me." Patricia emerged 20 minutes later. "Miss Johnson? Can we talk?" The conversation was brutal in its clinical honesty. Patterns of neglect. Signs of emotional abuse. Zion had told her this wasn't the first time Rochelle had left them alone. The sun was rising when my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. "Kathleen? Kathleen, what the hell did you do?" Rochelle's voice was sharp, strained. "The cops arrested me. At the club. You called the cops on your own sister. The audacity. The absolute audacity. What did I do?" My voice was ice. "What did you do, Rochelle? You left your babies on the street. On Lincoln Street at midnight. They walked 4 miles, Rochelle. 4 miles in the dark, barefoot, terrified. They're fine. You're being dramatic. I was gonna pick them up in the morning. They knew how to get to your house. I was teaching them independence." Independence. I was shouting now, couldn't help it. Amara has glass in her foot. Zion has blisters that bled through the bandages. They thought they were being punished. That's not independence, that's abuse. Silence. Then quietly, dangerously, "You have no idea what it's like." Fabian left. Left me with 2 kids and no help and bills and no sleep, and everyone expects me to just be perfect all the time. So you throw them away? You abandon your children because you're tired? Rochelle, I loved you. I would have helped you. I would have taken them for the weekend, for a week, for however long you needed. But you didn't ask. You just dumped them like trash. They're my kids. Not anymore. The words felt final. I have photos, videos, medical reports, witness statements. You're done, Rochelle. You're done hurting them. She started crying then, ugly sobs. "Kathleen, please. Please don't do this. We're sisters. We're all we have. Remember when we promised? Always have each other's backs." The manipulation was masterful. I almost fell for it. Almost. The next 72 hours were a blur of paperwork, court appearances, and social workers. Patricia became our lifeline, explaining the emergency custody hearing, the temporary placement paperwork, the labyrinth of the system I thought I'd left behind forever. "Your sister is fighting this," Patricia told me on day 2. "She's claiming you manipulated the children, that you're trying to steal them from her. Her lawyer is actually pretty good." Fear hit me like ice water. "Can she get them back?" "Not immediately. Not with the evidence. But she's their biological mother and family reunification is always the goal. Unless we can prove a pattern of abuse or that she's unfit long-term, she'll likely get a treatment plan. Parenting classes, therapy, supervised visits. Eventually maybe custody again. No. The word came out flat. I won't let that happen. Kathleen, I understand your anger, but you need to be realistic. They told me she's done this before. I pulled out my phone, showing her the notes I'd been keeping. I talked to their old neighbors. Mrs. Carver from the apartment below them? She said she heard the kids crying alone multiple times. She almost called CPS herself but didn't want to cause trouble. Rochelle's friend Kiana told me she stopped coming around because Rochelle would drink too much and say terrible things about the kids. Patricia's expression shifted. You've been investigating. I've been protecting them. There's a difference. She studied me for a long moment. You understand that if you pursue full custody, you're ending your relationship with your sister? Not just damaging it. Ending it. Did I understand? Every morning I woke up and reached for my phone to call Rochelle before remembering. Every night I second-guessed everything. But then I'd look at Zion and Amara, starting to smile again, starting to relax, starting to feel safe, and the doubt evaporated. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Judge Reynolds was a black woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and no patience for nonsense. Rochelle sat across the aisle with her public defender, dressed in a conservative outfit I knew she'd borrowed. She looked smaller somehow, deflated. She wouldn't look at me. The prosecutor laid out the case methodically. Timeline of events. Photos of the children's injuries. Medical reports. My testimony. The responding officer's statements. Rochelle's own recorded words at the club. Then came Rochelle's defense. Her lawyer painted a picture of a struggling single mother, abandoned by her husband, suffering from depression, making one terrible mistake in a moment of crisis. He emphasized her clean record, her stable employment history, her previous good parenting. Ms. Johnson was overwhelmed, the lawyer said smoothly. She made an extremely poor choice in a moment of desperation. But this was an isolated incident. Counselor. Judge Reynolds' voice cut through. I have a statement here from a neighbor, a Mrs. Carver, documenting multiple occasions of the children being left alone for extended periods. I have records of missed pediatric appointments. I have a kindergarten teacher's report expressing concern about Amara's hygiene and Zion's behavior. This doesn't sound isolated to me. I watched Rochelle's face crumble. She thought she'd get sympathy, understanding. She thought being tired was an excuse for abandonment. The judge turned to me. Ms. Johnson, Kathleen Johnson. You're seeking emergency custody. Yes, Your Honor. You understand the responsibility? These children have trauma. They'll need therapy, stability, patience. This isn't temporary. If I grant this, you're committing to raising them. I know, Your Honor. I'm ready. And you, she looked at Rochelle. Do you have anything to say? My sister stood, tears streaming down her face. I love my kids. I do. I was so tired. Judge Reynolds granted me temporary custody. Rochelle would get supervised visits after completing a parenting program and maintaining sobriety for 90 days. The look on my sister's face as they explained the terms, pure hatred directed at me, confirmed that our relationship was dead. You're stealing my life, she hissed as we left the courtroom. You always wanted what I had. You were always jealous. The accusation was so absurd I almost laughed. Jealous? Of her chaos? Her misery? Her cruelty to her own children? I wanted you to be a good mother, I said quietly. That's all I ever wanted. You're a traitor. Mama would be ashamed of you. Mama. Our grandmother who'd raised us, who died when I was 20 and Rochelle was 22. Who'd made us promise to look after each other always. No, I said firmly. Mama would be ashamed of you. She'd be ashamed that you hurt your babies. That you chose a party over their safety. That you turned into everything we survived. Rochelle lunged at me then. Her lawyer grabbed her back, but not before she screamed, I hope they ruin your life like they ruined mine. I hope you end up alone and miserable. Security escorted her out. Patricia touched my shoulder gently. You okay? Was I okay? My sister, my only family besides the kids, had just wished me misery. Had just confirmed that she saw her own children as burdens, as life ruiners, as mistakes. I'm fine, I lied. Let's get the kids home. Home. My apartment that was now our apartment. The spare bedroom I'd converted with donated furniture and toys. The life I'd had that was now something entirely different. Zion and Amara were waiting with a volunteer. Amara ran to me immediately, wrapping her arms around my legs. 3 months later, our new normal had started to take shape. Zion was in therapy twice a week, working through his feelings about his mother. Amara still had nightmares but was slowly starting to trust that I wouldn't leave her. I'd switched to working 3 12-hour shifts a week so I could be home more, taking a pay cut that made my budget impossibly tight. But we were making it work. Auntie Kathleen? Zion asked one evening while we were making dinner. Can we call you Mom? The question hit me like a truck. What? Not instead of Mama. But like, you're doing all the mom stuff. And Amara asked me to ask because she was scared you'd say no. I looked at Amara, who was indeed watching me nervously from the living room where she was supposed to be doing homework. You want to call me Mom? She nodded, biting her lip. My eyes burned with tears I refused to let fall in front of them. These kids had already seen enough crying. I would be honored. The smile that broke across Amara's face was worth every sleepless night, every dollar stretched too thin, every sacrifice I'd made and would make. That night, after they were asleep, I checked Rochelle's social media for the first time in weeks. Her latest post was a long caption about fake people and betrayal, and how real family sticks together no matter what. The comments were full of people who didn't know the truth, supporting her, calling me terrible names. I blocked her. All her accounts. Her number. Everything. Some people called it cruel. I called it survival. You can't heal while still drinking poison. Patricia called the next day with news. Rochelle missed her second parenting class. And she tested positive for alcohol at her last visit supervision. The court is moving toward termination of parental rights. I should have felt victorious. Instead I just felt sad. 6 months after that night, a letter arrived. No return address, but I recognized Rochelle's handwriting immediately. For a long moment I considered throwing it away unread. But curiosity won. Kathleen, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know what I did was unforgivable. Every day I wake up and remember their faces when they realized I wasn't coming back. Every night I dream about Amara's feet bleeding on your floor. I was drowning. That's not an excuse, just a fact. When Fabian left, something in me broke. Every time I looked at them I saw his face, saw my failed marriage, saw everything I'd lost. They became symbols of my failure instead of my children. I started drinking more. Started going out more. Started resenting every need they had. That night wasn't the first time I left them. It was just the first time I got caught. You saved them. I hate that it was from me, but you saved them. You did what I couldn't. You put them first. You were the mother I should have been. I'm signing away my rights next week. The lawyer says fighting it is pointless, and honestly I don't want to fight anymore. They deserve better than a mother who resents them. They deserve you. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them it was never their fault. Tell them that some people just aren't meant to be parents and I was one of them. Don't write back. Don't call. Let this be goodbye. Rochelle. I read it 3 times, tears streaming down my face. This was it. The end of us. The sister I'd loved, the girl who'd braided my hair and shared my bed in foster homes, was gone. Maybe she'd been gone for years and I'd just refused to see it. That evening I sat Zion and Amara down. They were 7.5 and 6 now, bigger and brighter and healing slowly. I got a letter from your mom, I said gently. They exchanged glances. Zion spoke first. Is she coming back? No, baby. She's signing papers that say I can officially adopt you. That you'll be my children for real forever. Silence. Then Amara whispered, do we have to see her again? No. Not if you don't want to. Good. Her voice was firm. We have you now. That's enough. And somehow, impossibly, it was. Look. 2 years later, on the anniversary of that terrible night, I took the kids back to Lincoln Street. Not to the exact spot, I'd never do that to them, but to the church nearby where a community center had just opened. This is where we're going to volunteer, I told them. Every Saturday we're going to help families who need it. We're going to be the helpers. Because nobody helped us? Zion asked, understanding dawning. Because someone did help you. And now we pass it forward. Mar took my hand. Mom, I'm glad we walked to your house that night. My throat tightened. Me too, baby. Me too. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some relationships can't be saved. But from the ashes of that betrayal, we'd built something stronger. A real family chosen and fought for, held together not by blood but by love and commitment and the simple promise, I will never leave you. And that was enough. That was everything. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Share your own stories of family betrayal or chosen family in the comments. Your experience matters. And remember, protecting children always comes first, even when it means losing people you love. You're never wrong for choosing their safety over family loyalty. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other.